Hey guys, um, today I want to talk about something that is very close to my heart, in many in many ways. Um, I as a young man, was married, has a wife and kids. I strongly believe that if you are to win in this journey of life, you need to have mentors. Even better, you need to have a father who's going to guide you, in this journey of being a father and a husband. I think equally important. It is important now because I also am a child of God, a born again Christian who believes that, you know, if I am to win in this journey, or rather in my pursuit of excellence as both a child of God and a leader in the things of God, it is of utmost importance that I have somebody that I look up to, a father, a spiritual father, somebody who's going to model the kind of life, that that pleases God. But here's the thing: we are a generation that does not want to listen to anyone. We are a generation that is, pompous, that is filled with the self, that is filled with the self, and a generation that thinks that, they know everything, and it's not the case. Throughout my of course, I grew up without a father. I never had, a role model, which is why I struggled for, the longest time as both a husband and a father. But here's one thing that, is just as important, and I'll make an example. It is having a spiritual father. Eli was a father, a spiritual father to Samuel. Fortunately for Samuel, Eli, who was not his biological father, played both a father role and a spiritual father role to him. There are things that your biological father, as important as he is, that he will not be able to assist you with. His role is to guide you as a father, first by modeling the kind of life when you are still young, so that you can have confidence and have, him as a benchmark to manhood. But there are limits to that if his role will only end there. That's why you need to find a spiritual father. I'll say find, because for one to have a spiritual father, you need to decide first. You make a decision on your own that you are going to pursue. There are spiritual fathers out there, they are available, but you decide whether you are going to have a particular person as a spiritual father, or a leader, or a pastor in your church, or a mentor, because those are three different, levels. Him being a spiritual father, him being a pastor in your church, and him being, a mentor. Different roles. Here is one thing that, I feel needs to be clarified, and clarified very well. It is that, the relationship between a father and a son has to be worked on every day. Having given birth to you, he has a responsibility to raise you, to nurture you, and build a relationship. You know, there's something that Dr. Hardas Pretorius said in one of the lectures in a lecture that he had yesterday, was that loyalty is as a result of a relationship. So here is my take on this. Because I believe strongly in spiritual fatherhood. I can, yeah, I believe strongly in spiritual fatherhood, but relationships build and strengthen, strengthen that. You cannot call a person that you see on TV your spiritual father, because he must minister to your life. And I mean not correspond, but he must minister to your life. Not, you can be inspired by messages and all, but he must speak to your life. When you have a crisis at home, he must minister to your, to your family. When you have the most sensitive, things to discuss, he must be there. He must always be there. That's the role of a spiritual father. As a son, your responsibility as a son is to support your spiritual father. It is to lift his arms, lift his arms, and make sure that you support his vision. And until that is established, until that, exists, fortunately, you cannot call that person a spiritual father. A spiritual father has a duty and a role to play in the son's life, and the son has a duty and a role to play in a spiritual father's life. And it starts with a relationship. Cannot have a spiritual father who does not know your name. Cannot have a spiritual father who does not know your house, who does not know where you're working, who does not know your wife, who does not know your children. Of course, there are levels in this. A spiritual father, it's a relationship, meaning that he will not know everything at once, but there must be at least an effort to know you. If that does not happen, tough. That relationship does not qualify to be a father-son relationship. It's easy out there for people to call, people, he's my father. It's easy for, even fathers, elderly people in the ministry, mentors, to call people sons. Unfortunately, not everyone is a son. Not everyone is a father. It's a relationship that determines whether this person is your father or not. Until that is established, he remains a pastor, in a church that you go to. Even a mentor, which is just, slightly below son-father relationship, the mentorship, that also requires a commitment. But a pastor, in a church that you go to, will not even know that you are there. Will not even know your name. If he knows your name, that's the ultimate. So we need to grow in understanding, these two, and also it's important that we have these relationships established. I personally have been raised by fathers. I know, a father, a spiritual father. I have been a son. I know my duties as a son, Yeah, anyway, guys, keep well. It's June now. A month that we will focus. I have, a feeling that we need to focus a bit more on and celebrate fathers. Thanks, guys. Keep well.